If you've ever seen videos of LeBron James play football in high school, you know that he was an elite player on the field, and with his athleticism would have been a beast at the college level. While creating LeBron in game, we had to get some drip on this man, so to take attention off his hairline. 79 overall coming out of high school, you all know there is only one place an elite wide receiver wanted to go: the Ohio State University. LeBron had been open for a long time about his love for the Buckeyes. In our first week of college practices, we showed out, proving that being 6'9" can make even senior corners look like little children. Now, with only 6 energy in our first week on campus, we used some to train, and since our offensive coordinator made it clear we had to do some schoolwork, went to class to see what it was all about. During practice going into week 1, there were good and bad moments. The physicality was forcing us to drop some passes that in high school we'd catch 9 times out of 10. Going to class, improving leadership, getting healthy, and adding some extra weight sessions were where we used our energy before our first college game on Saturday, where our hometown school came to the shoe. Unfortunately, being the 4th string wide receiver, we'd get no snaps until the start of the 4th quarter when the game was already 38-3. But even then, most snaps were a run, so all we did was block until 4th and 3 with 3 minutes left, when LeBron caught his first collegiate pass on an out route for a 5-yard gain. For the remainder of the game, we'd only be blocking, but just to get snaps in the first game of the year was valuable experience for when we may be called upon later in the season. For whatever reason, this tight end thought we'd just do his grunt work just because of us being a freshman on the team. What do you think we are, pushovers? The nagging wouldn't stop though, as our academic advisor let us know how important keeping a good GPA up was. However, like Cardell Jones said, we didn't come to play school. What was cool though was due to our appearance in week 1, we got our first NIL offer, but for right now, declining was the best decision, as focusing on earning that wide receiver 3 role was our #1 responsibility. Week 2's practice was one where we showed improvement from week 1, feeling as if we were adapting to the physicality and ready to get some meaningful snaps. But when game day came around against Western Michigan, we rode the bench the entire game. When the game ended in a 56-30 blowout, LeBron for sure felt disrespected by the staff since he wasn't even given throwaway snaps. A week 3 bye came at a good time, as we needed to adapt to the college lifestyle, putting energy into increasing our brand and leadership capabilities. But with the 3rd team we expected to play this year being Marshall, who was already 0-2, I was hoping LeBron could get on the field, but 60 minutes of football would come and go again without playing. This time because it was too close of a game to trust the freshman. Not only were we not performing on the field, but in the classroom, I got word LeBron got a C on a test, resulting in a decreased GPA. With Big Ten conference play starting the following week, we made the decision to do 3 things: work hard in the classroom, train hard, and support our teammates from the sidelines. While it wasn't easy being patient, watching, learning, and earning the trust of the coaching staff, everything was about to change in week 7. We've got a position battle for wide receiver 3, a position that actually gets important playing time. Coach asked us to stay a little after practice today to see if we can claim the spot. In our first drill, we were able to easily claim the victory, and in drill 2, a touchdown catch would give us the grade needed to win the position battle. Unfortunately, due to the stress of our position battle, our academic advisor informed me that LeBron received straight C's on his midterms. Determined to raise the GPA, we spent our bye week studying, but then Audrey was risen up LeBron asking if we wanted to go out. Despite every desire to have some fun, we said, "Get behind me, Satan. I rebuke you in Jesus' name." LeBron came home the Monday of his first game where he expected to get some real game time, shocked that coach told him to stay late because he had a chance to be wide receiver 2. So when Tuesday rolled around and there was an opportunity to skip an early morning class, we slept in so that we'd be prepared for a long practice. Whether it was me or the quarterback, we fell far short of the standard in drill 1. However, drill 2 was much cleaner, as some consistency gave us an easy victory. The final drill was one I had never seen before, so you could only imagine my fear trying to get LeBron the wide receiver 2 position when I don't know what I'm doing. Luckily, its self-explanatory nature made it very easy to catch on to, and we ended up running away with the 3rd drill, winning the battle for wide receiver 2. Our first start would come at Death Valley, facing off the 24th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. LeBron's first contribution would come only a few plays into the first drive on a catch that would result in a first down. But everyone would really start to take notice of LeBron when he was found in open space and tackled just inside the red zone. The possession would end in a touchdown, and we could say we contributed 40 yards to its success. On the following possession, our quarterback decided to throw a pick six for whatever reason while in Penn State territory. For whatever reason, coach thought that should mean that we shouldn't play until the second half. The time on the bench didn't slow LeBron down when we got back onto the field. While we didn't get a touchdown on our first start, we did get important snaps, which was what we've been working towards all year. There was a single play where LeBron's inexperience was evident. All in all, though, we escaped Death Valley with 7 catches and a 37-27 victory. Our newfound success on the field has led some of our classmates to take notice and be willing to help get classwork done. However, we're trying to improve the GPA, so there must be no shortcuts. Our first start in the shoe would have us line up against the Boilermakers. While we would like to get catches longer than 3 yards, I reminded LeBron that we are trying to be a team player. For whatever reason, though, when we torched the corner, our QB couldn't throw the ball over the top. Through the first half, we'd have 3 catches for only 12 yards. Pitiful. Our biggest catch of the day would come late in the third quarter when it looked like LeBron would score his first touchdown, but instead stepped out of bounds at the 1. Despite the number of catches, the #1 team in the nation would advance to 9-0 on the season. Unsatisfied, we'd spend the following week training and attending leadership classes, hoping to earn more targets going into Northwestern. Honestly, I was surprised that so few number of people wanted to show up to see the #1 team in the country play. Even though the atmosphere felt like a spring game, the game itself wasn't even close to that. The Wildcats showed up to play. Personally, LeBron was happy as he was getting more targets, but overall, the Buckeyes weren't executing how they liked. Going into the fourth quarter, the game was 19-17, and dumb block and the back penalties weren't helping. Then, Will Howard decided to throw this pick. Luckily, they only got a field goal, which meant big plays like this were massive in trying to take the lead. We'd end up scoring on the possession, and by the next time we were on the field, it'd be 31-28 good guys. The Buckeyes would barely escape Chicago with a victory. Right when we got onto the bus, I got a text from my academic advisor reminding me I had some extra credit to do to increase my GPA and set me up for finals. Gosh, I can't believe they make us do school in this thing. Week 11 would be against Indiana, a team who's ranked 24th in the nation. LeBron's biggest moment of his college career would come on the first possession when he caught his first touchdown as a Buckeye. Anyone with a brain could tell that there was a newfound confidence to LeBron after the score. There was an aura around him, demanding the ball down the field. A monster in college football had been unleashed. The Buckeyes would roll in Columbus, and James would have his first ever 100-yard receiving game of his career. Game 12 is here. The team is hard at practice, and LeBron James is focused as ever because of their next challenge. Any true Ohio State fan knows that the first 11 games of the season are all just a warm-up to the most important game on the schedule. The first quarter would be a scoreless one. Despite some moving of the ball down the field, some players just weren't settled in yet. I'm wide open! What type of throw is that? By the second quarter, too many mistakes meant I had some words for Will Howard. What is that? Why are you doing it to me? Why? Luckily, Michigan wasn't taking advantage of the situation, but for some reason, coach got mad at me for this play.
Drops back, needing a third down complete.
That is not my fault. I got picked. I got picked. How that wasn't pass interference, I have no clue. And LeBron was starting to think Jim Harbaugh slipped a little money under the table after this call by the officials. Oh, touchdown! Touchdown! No way! You're calling me blocking the back there? 7-7 would be the score going into the second half. And after a Michigan field goal, it looked like the Ohio State offense was starting to get it together. Get upfield! Go! Unfortunately, that drive would only end in a field goal, but the next time LeBron found himself on the field, it was to try to extend a 7-point lead. A big second down catch would put the Buckeyes in the field goal range, which was necessary to extend the lead to 2 scores. Even though Michigan would score, an onside kick recovery would confirm the win against the team up north. LeBron James and Ohio State would be a perfect 12-0 heading into the Big Ten championship game. Horrible news would come the Monday after when our academic advisor informed us that we had 3 Ds and 1 F on our final exams. During the week of the game to confirm the #1 seed in the college football playoff, we used skill points to improve LeBron's hands, which could be an important decision heading into Indianapolis. Maryland would score on their first possession, and Ohio State's drive stalled, meaning we could only kick a field goal. But this mistake by the Buckeyes gave the Terrapins the opportunity to take the lead in the second quarter. I don't know where the ball is. Wait, we fumbled it? What? How pissed off that we hadn't gotten the ball enough in the first quarter. One pass made it all right in the world of LeBron James.
Fires it to the wide out.
Go! 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 See what happens when you give me the ball! The game would remain relatively quiet except 2 field goals by the team from Columbus, but a touchdown in the 4th quarter would put the game out of reach. Oh my gosh, I'm wide open. He is too. Big blue cat touchdown. We've won it, guys. The day after lifting the Big Ten trophy, LeBron got a call from his position coach saying he had been put on the all Big Ten freshman team. LeBron James, all Big Ten. Something 6 weeks into the season he would never have expected. However, that didn't matter nearly as much as what came just hours later, the college football playoff bracket. An Auburn win over Wisconsin in the first round would set us up to play the Tigers in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. LeBron would get involved early in the game with a couple of receptions, but the drive would ultimately stall before reaching the end zone, settling for 3. Despite getting into a good rhythm on the second drive, a forced throw would lead to a turnover, a problem Will Howard has had in big games. No, he threw a pick. No, he threw a pick, bro. What are we doing? For the remainder of the game, LeBron wouldn't get much involved, something that he wasn't happy about, despite his team dominating the second half. It seemed as if a switch had flipped in him. No longer did he just want to be on a good team. He wanted to be the guy on the good team. And today was a day where he just felt like another fish in the sea on Ohio State's way to win 30-20 and advance to the college football semifinal. The scenes are set. These are the teams. Dallas was the city. The Cotton Bowl is the game. Notre Dame versus Ohio State, fighting for a spot to play in the national championship. Ohio State's offense was clicking early. We were happy in the moment as the team was doing well, but not being much of the reason why the team is doing so well early on in the game was a face we were hiding. Over on the sidelines, we decided to have a quick word with our senior quarterback saying we'll be open all night. And on one play, a pass to LeBron worked perfectly, but the next time we were targeted, it didn't go so well.
Intercepted, picked off by the defense. Can he take it all the way? That's a pick and a long.
Luckily, our quarterback was able to bounce back the very next play. Oh! Go! Go! He redeemed himself! And from that moment on, the Buckeyes run away with it to the end. Victors at the Cotton Bowl and finalists in the college football playoff. The stage is set. The Buckeyes decided to switch things up, wearing their black unis for the championship game against the Wolfpack. Early on, LeBron would get involved. Oh, first play. First down. But a reception short of the line of game would force his coach into a risky decision in the first quarter. Please do it to me right away on this RPO. Touchdown. Touchdown. A big game by James would set them up to score a touchdown and take the lead. Come on! But if you have any intention of doing a wide receiver road to glory, this is something I have done way too much. I didn't. How is that a block in the back, bro? I'm just running towards the ball and I accidentally hit. NC State would end up taking a 14-7 lead, and it looked like we were going to easily tie the game back up. However, luckily, it didn't change the result of the drive as we scored a touchdown. The half would end with the Wolfpack up by 7. Penalties and bad passing decisions would have the Buckeyes' first drive go nowhere. I mean, yeah, that's really going to get us somewhere down the field. Yep, good job. Despite being down 10 late in the third, we showed resolve. And even though the ball wasn't getting thrown to us as often as we'd like, we kept our head in the game and did what the team needed us to do. That block got us a touchdown, guys. Unfortunately, the fat lady started to sing on this play. The deficit was too big, and it didn't matter what LeBron did or thought. NC State had beaten us in the national championship game. Some frustration in the weeks to come led us to consider this. No matter where we go, we have to be the guy. So that's why I decided we're taking LeBron's talents to South Beach. Right away, the change in scenery was obviously helping, seen in the way we were practicing. And before the first game of the year, coach had announced us as wide receiver 1. The coaching staff was very focused on developing us, making us feel important, as they were setting me up to succeed in practice so that we would succeed on the field. The first game of the season would come at home in an ACC matchup versus Syracuse, and and let me tell you, we were cooking. Syracuse is ranked 25th in the nation, and they could not keep up with LeBron. I mean, we were passing the ball all over them, and for whatever reason, it just seemed like the Miami playbook was better for a big play wide receiver like LeBron James. Winning 51-10 was a massive achievement for the first game of the season. Our dominating performance had coach hit us up Monday with a challenge: get 40 yards run after catch and win our next game. Easy. What I didn't know is that our next game was against a team that made the college football playoff last year and currently ranks number 4 in the nation, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We'd be able to respond to Notre Dame's touchdown in the first quarter with one of our own, but after that, it was straight downhill. A horribly thrown ball and pick 6 would put us down by a touchdown in the second quarter. Then, on the ensuing possession, our quarterback would throw his 3rd interception of the game. We tried to fight back, and it looked like we might get a score before halftime, but a last play of the half interception would be the dagger in the heart we could never recover from. Whenever you throw 4 interceptions in the first half, you'll never win. But when you throw 4 pick 6s in a game, you'll only get absolutely embarrassed. The following week, playing against South Florida was supposed to be an easy win, but it was far from it. It took a 20-yard reception down 28-21 with less than 30 seconds left to put us in a position to force overtime. Luckily, we were able to escape this game against the Bulls in the first overtime on a 3rd down reception where we dragged defenders into the end zone. While I never expected LeBron to have to carry this hard, we did want to be the guy. Our coaching staff didn't have much time to wake up our team after 2 poor performances because the number 6 ranked Gators weren't planning on laying down in Miami. LeBron wanted to be the man, and 2 catches helped cultivate a drive that ended in 6. Entering the second quarter, the score would be 7-7 until LeBron caught a 3-yard touchdown pass. Unlike the previous week, our quarterback actually looked like he wasn't a JV quarterback at the local Christian high school. He was making intelligent throws, which means just throwing it to a 6'9" wide receiver. We'd end up dominating the Gators and win 35-24. Being in Miami has also been good for our brand exposure. NIL deals have been flowing in, but the games weren't getting easier. NC State, the defending national champions, were in town, and the Hard Rock Stadium was packed for a second week in a row, something that never happens in real life. LeBron said, "Give me the ball as much as you can," to his quarterback before the game, and thankfully the QB listened. In the first half alone, we had over 160 yards receiving and a 75-yard touchdown that crushed the Wolfpack spirit before the half. Even though the score of the game remained close, it never really felt like NC State was going to win it in the second half. I mean, when LeBron has 20 catches for 223 yards, are we ever going to lose? Not only has the season so far been more successful on the field, but off of it, our GPA was up with all B's on our midterm exams. LeBron's next real test would come against another in-state rival. We traveled to Florida State to take on the 5th-ranked Seminoles. Not only was the country's eyes glued to this game because of a top 5 matchup, but because of us, LeBron James. People were starting to talk about the boy from Akron, and a 50-yard 3rd down reception would just be the start to a life-changing game for the sophomore. This play where we took the ball out of the corner's hands would show how dominant LeBron could be at the college level. For much of the first quarter, we'd be throwing players off of us like rag dolls, dragging them forward for first downs. What made this game so easy for us was the mismatch we were getting on the outside versus the FSU corner. 3 different times in the first half, we'd blow right past him only to be caught after gaining 50 yards. By the end of the first half, we had over 200 yards, the lead, and a nation talking about the 6'9" wide receiver for the Hurricanes. Early in the third quarter, we'd extend our lead to 2 scores, but after that, it all came crumbling down. We started dropping passes we haven't dropped since our first week on campus at Ohio State. Our quarterback started to miss throws that he should never miss. Down 7 in the fourth quarter with 1:13 left on the clock, every target was going to LeBron. We were charging our way downfield, wanting the ball every play, but on first down, our quarterback would throw the ball into double coverage, turning the ball over and ultimately losing the game for us. Losing is never easy, especially when we had 275 yards receiving. But like I said, the nation was starting to take notice of us, and that includes those who vote for the best wide receiver in the nation. We bounced back pretty strong over the next couple weeks with a 187-yard game and a win over Louisville, and a 184-yard game in a thrashing win over Kent State at home. Heading into week 12 at 7-2 as a team, we were still in control of our own destiny, hoping to win the ACC championship and make the college football playoff. On a personal note, we were in the Heisman race, sitting at number 4 and climbing quickly. Now, we hadn't played away much this year, and heading to Pittsburgh for an all-important ACC matchup wasn't making me feel confident. We wouldn't move the ball poorly on our first possession of the game. Simple throws to LeBron were something that we weren't able to execute well against Notre Dame and Florida State. A 1-yard touchdown pass would be the first points of the game late in the first quarter, putting us in a good position in hostile territory. The first mistake of the game would come following a Pittsburgh field goal in the second quarter when our quarterback threw his first interception of the game. It would only be a few minutes later when our quarterback would throw his second pick of the game, because for some reason in Road to Glory, quarterbacks don't know how to throw the ball over the top and instead have to power throw everything. We'd head into the second half down 24-10. Our first possession of the third quarter would be important, but somehow our quarterback happens to overthrow a wide open 6'9" receiver. How is that even possible? The next time we'd make a catch, it would be down 31-10. Sure, we acted and played like we had a chance to come back. LeBron was playing so well that eventually we made it a 7-point game, but a Pittsburgh drive that ended in a field goal with less than a minute 30 left in the clock made it impossible to win the game. Sometimes it's not your night, but how unlucky is it that 2 out of the 3 200+ yard games that we've had have come in losses this year? Heading into Virginia Tech, we would drop in the college football playoff rankings to 14th in the nation, but somehow number 1 in the Heisman watch. Everyone knew we most likely weren't going to get into the ACC championship game with 2 losses, so we had to prove in our last 2 games we deserved to be in the playoff. Our case would only be helped as we straight up demolished the Hokies. It's insane to me how simple the game of football is when the quarterback doesn't make mistakes and throws the ball to LeBron. We'd finish the game with 2 touchdowns and 254 yards receiving. 37-6 road wins always feel good. Our final game of the season, final opportunity to get into the playoff, and final opportunity to show the Heisman voters who the #1 player in the country is, would be a 3rd road game in a row in Dallas. It seems that the Hurricanes have gotten used to the traveling. Late in the first half, LeBron would score a touchdown to put Miami up 13-0. The most important play of the game would come midway through the third quarter when LeBron would be found streaking down the left side to set us up for a 23-7 lead. We'd end up cruising to a 32-14 victory, and LeBron would have 274 yards of receiving, which hopefully should be enough to prove we deserve the Heisman. We didn't make it into the ACC championship game like expected, but we were sitting at number 9 in the nation and also a top Heisman candidate. After advancing past championship week, we received some rewards: best wide receiver, player of the year, but somehow we'd be robbed of the Heisman trophy by Dante Moore from Oregon. While I believe we deserved the Heisman, being named the #1 wide receiver in the nation as a sophomore was a massive achievement. Good news is that we were hosting in the first round of the college football playoff against NC State, the defending national champions. Our presence as Lebron James would be felt early on in the game. It would take the entire first quarter for someone to score, but we'd go up 7-0. After an NC State touchdown, we'd strike back immediately. Their tie ball game isn't going to last long either. LeBron James all the way to the house. 14-7. Let's go, baby. Up 17-7. We were looking to lead the team down the field again, but on this play, we'd suffer an injury that would keep us out of the game until the fourth quarter. Our first play back, though, would be a touchdown catch that would put the game out of reach and seal our victory. That would set us up for a date against Oregon in the quarterfinal. LeBron finds himself in the Rose Bowl for the 2nd straight year, something that could never get old. We'd make some big time catches after Oregon would score on their first drive, which gave me confidence in our ability to win the game. Plays like this more special when we get the ball on the outside on a little dig route. Step real quick.
Second down, we're gonna throw it.
Touchdown. We're in. Oregon would respond with the touchdown of their own. However, we weren't ready to lay down yet. We've got a massive 3rd down right here. Right? Throw it to me. Yes. Touchdown. In. Unfortunately, we would be playing an Oregon team that had the most efficient offense in the nation. And when we couldn't execute simple 3rd down conversions, it would be difficult to win this game. We found ourselves down 35-13 at half. By the start of the fourth quarter, it would be 42-16, a deficit way too large to come back on. Our season would end in Pasadena. On a personal note, we'd be named an All-American and also set the record for the most receiving yards and receptions in a year. But would we decide to stay in Miami for another year or transfer for the 2nd season in a row? Good news is you guys dictate the outcome by commenting down below what we should do. Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I have been in our past videos when it comes to college football, I've been sharing just a little bit of my faith, hopefully to be an encouragement to you guys. Now, if this isn't something you want to hear about or a conversation you don't want to be a part of, that's fine. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I can't wait to show you what we've got in store for you in the future. So a lot of people have been coming to me lately asking, hey, what does the Christian life promise? Like, why would anyone ever want to be a Christian from just a practical life standpoint? Does my life get better? And to be honest with you guys, no. Being a Christian doesn't mean you're going to be healthier or wealthier. However, the Bible does promise us things: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. If any of these things is something that you would like more of yourself, for me, it'd be more joy and more gentleness towards people. And the Bible promises, as I'm going to continue walking this Christian life, I will have more joy. I will have more gentleness with others in this life. And maybe you listening lacks one of these things. And I guarantee there's something you are deficient in of what I just said: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, or self-control. If you want self-control, where can you get it? It's by following Jesus. And it's not going to happen overnight, but over the span of your life, you will have more self-control. You will have more joy. You will have more gentleness. You will have more what is called the fruits of the Spirit if you are in Christ. Now, if you guys have any questions about Christianity or faith, I'd love for you guys to drop a comment down below asking that question, and maybe at the end of the next video, I'll be answering your specific question. I'll see you guys in the next one.